Top 5 Best Bookshelf Speakers. Number 5. Audioengine HD6. Audioengine have a huge lineup of fantastic speakers, and although we still prefer the models above for clarity, you have to work quite hard to make speakers as fun as these. Audioengine describe their HD6 powered speakers as retro-forward in design, and we can see that the retro element probably comes from the wood finishes. The forward bit is clearly about the fact that this pair features built-in monoblock power amps, 75 watts each, audio inputs, RCA, mini jack, optical, and wireless Bluetooth streaming, which is great. In our opinion, these aren't as much fun as the Kanto Tux above, but they definitely offer more power, and an improved bass response. The HD6 support the higher quality aptX audio formats, which sound more detailed. If you decide to use the HD6 with a receiver, remember that the speakers are already powered, so use the receiver's RCA outputs. Of course, the Audioengines can also be connected to your receiver via their digital connection for an even better audio quality. What we like: big sound, classic looks, wireless music streaming. What we don't: top frequencies slightly subdued. Coming in number 4. PSB Alpha P5. PSB's Alpha P5 are pretty popular, and for good reason. The unusual design, which places the full-range driver on top, and the eyebrow-raising technology inside them solidifies Alpha P5 ingenuity against the competition. We think they sound superb, easily comparable to the smooth Wharf Edale Diamond 12.1. They have a relatively small footprint, a wide soundstage, and are a breeze to set up and use. For under $500, there are very few speakers that could beat them. We do, however, think that they require careful pairing in order to get the best sound. They have a relatively narrow power range compared to other speakers on this list. We found that Class D amplifiers, the nomenclature refers to the type of amp circuitry, and you'll find it listed in your amp's spec sheet, gave the best results. Funnily enough, one of the best combos we came across was the Alpha P5 and the NAD D3045 amp, both of which come from companies under the same parent. Also worth noting, there is an active version of this loudspeaker available, newly released. It's called the AM5, and retails for $599. We think that's way too much of a price increase. For now, stick to the passive P5. What we like: ridiculously good audio quality for the price. What we don't: requires careful pairing to get the best sound. Coming in number 3. Acoustics 3020i. We weren't huge fans of the original Acoustics 3020 speakers, which we felt were overhyped. The 3020i speakers fare better, and crucially, they are small and compact enough to work exceptionally well as a pair of speakers for PC gaming. The sound is refined and clean, with crisp detail and improved bass. Despite the small size of the speakers, you get some decent low-end here. Their size makes them a compelling option, better than similar models from the likes of Edifier and Fluance. One of the biggest problems with the Acoustics 3020i speakers was that at high volumes, the sound became brittle and harsh. We wouldn't recommend listening to these on high for long periods. They don't have the finesse or clarity of something like the ELAC Unifi 2.0. Worth noting, there is a newer version of the speakers, the 3030i, but they shouldn't really be an option here. They are very good, but are designed to be mounted on stands, without the versatility to sit on either side of a monitor or laptop. What we like: great looks, excellent treble, compact build. What we don't: sound quality can be fatiguing at high volumes. Coming in number 2. Fluance Signature Series HiFi. Very few bookshelf speakers look as good as those offered by Canadian manufacturer Fluance. They also don't usually cost $200 a pair, which these do. With their black and yellow colorway and robust cabinets, these speakers are eye-catching and fun. But they are no lightweights, delivering one of the best audio experiences we can think of for under $300. We tested several speakers in this price range, and none impressed us more than the Signature Series HiFi. Compared to inexpensive options like the Edifier R1280T, they really shine. We did sometimes feel like the sound was overly bright, not to the point of harshness, just with a little bit too much emphasis in the high end. It meant that they were slightly fatiguing after a few hours. But that's a common problem with inexpensive speakers, and it's something that can be mitigated by treating your room with soft surfaces, like couches and curtains, which you probably have anyway. It's also worth mentioning that they have what feels like a very wide sweet spot, meaning you can position them just about anywhere in the room, and still get good sound. What we like: great looks, wide sweet spot. What we don't: perhaps a little too bright. Coming in number 1. ELAC Unifi 2.0. We don't think you'll find a better or more versatile speaker than the new ELAC Unifi 2.0. The second version of designer Andrew Jones speakers is just immense, offering one of the biggest, punchiest, and most enjoyable soundscapes we've ever come across. Whether we were listening in our oversized home theater testing room, or a small office, these speakers performed brilliantly. We were also particularly impressed with how easily they moved between hi-fi and home theater systems. They sound just as good with a stereo amp as they do with an AV receiver. Jones completely redesigned these speakers from the original, and it really shows. Our previous title holder, the Bowers & Wilkins 606, would need a truly special challenger to unseat them. ELAC and the Unifi 2.0 managed to do it, producing what we think is one of the best speakers around. We would say that one downside of these speakers is that they aren't really suitable for beginners. With their big sound and sizable price, they may not be ideal for those just dipping a toe into the world of hi-fi. Fortunately, there are plenty of less expensive alternatives, including the excellent Fluance Signature series, below. But honestly, we adored the ELAC Unifi 2.0, and we think they are an easy choice for the top spot. What we like: terrific in both hi-fi and home theater systems. What we don't: may be a little intimidating for beginners.